Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A concept whose truth can be proved. Scientific hypotheses are not facts. An event known to have happened or something known to have existed. Your fears have no basis in fact. A piece of information about circumstances that exist or events that have occurred. First, you must collect all the facts of the case. A statement or assertion of verified information about something that is the case or has happened. He supported his argument with an impressive array of facts. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. The event that occurred at the beginning of something. The creation of something in the mind. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. The act of becoming pregnant. Fertilization of an ovum by a spermatozoan. Make by combining materials and parts. Some eccentric constructed an electric brazier warmer. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. Reassemble mentally. Reconstruct the events of 20 years ago. Put together out of artificial or natural components or parts. Create by linking linguistic units. Construct a sentence. Create by organizing and linking ideas, arguments, or concepts. Construct a proof. Draw with suitable instruments and under specified conditions. Construct an equilateral triangle. The state of being actual or real. All of your experiences that determine how things appear to you. For them, demons were as much a part of reality as trees were. The state of being actual or real. The reality of his situation slowly dawned on him. The quality possessed by something that is real. The state of the world as it really is rather than as you might want it to be. The state of being actual or real. The attribute of accepting the facts of life and favoring practicality and literal truth. An artistic movement in 19th-century France. Artists and writers strove for detailed realistic and factual description. Philosophy, the philosophical doctrine that physical objects continue to exist when not perceived. Philosophy, the philosophical doctrine that abstract concepts exist independent of their names. A message received and understood. Communication theory, a numerical measure of the uncertainty of an outcome. The signal contained thousands of bits of information. A collection of facts from which conclusions may be drawn. Formal accusation of a crime. Knowledge acquired through study or experience or instruction. A message received and understood. The quality of being near to the true value. The lawyer questioned the truth of my account. United States abolitionist and feminist who was freed from slavery and became a leading advocate of the abolition of slavery and for the rights of women, 1797 to 1883. A true statement. He told the truth. Conformity to reality or actuality. They debated the truth of the proposition. A fact that has been verified. At last he knew the truth. A specific size and style of type within a type family. An enveloping structure or covering enclosing an animal or plant organ or part. The enclosing frame around a door or window opening. A person of a specified kind, usually with many eccentricities. A mental case. Printing. The receptacle in which a compositor has his type, which is divided into compartments for the different letters, spaces, or numbers. For English, a compositor will ordinarily have two such cases, the uppercase containing the capitals and the lowercase containing the small letters. The quantity contained in a case. The housing or outer covering of something. The clock has a walnut case. Bed linen consisting of a cover for a pillow. The burglar carried his loot in a pillowcase. A special set of circumstances. It may rain, in which case the picnic will be cancelled. An occurrence of something. It was a case of bad judgment. Enclose in, or as if in, a case. My feet were encased in mud. Nouns or pronouns are adjectives, often marked by inflection, related in some way to other words in a sentence. A comprehensive term for any proceeding in a court of law whereby an individual seeks a legal remedy. A person who is subjected to experimental or other observational procedures. Someone who is an object of investigation. The cases that we studied were drawn from two different communities. A glass container used to store and display items in a shop or museum or home. A person requiring professional services. A typical case was the suburban housewife described by a marriage counselor. A portable container for carrying several objects. The musicians left their instrument cases backstage. A problem requiring investigation. Perry Mason solved the case of the missing heir. A specific state of mind that is temporary. A case of the jitters. A statement of facts and reasons used to support an argument. He stated his case clearly. Look over, usually with the intention to rob. They men cased the house. The actual state of things. That was not the case. A small part that can be considered separately from the whole. It was perfect in all details. A temporary military unit. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. Several of the details are similar. A crew of workers selected for a particular task. A detail was sent to remove the fallen trees. Assigned to a specific task. The ambulances were detailed to the fire station. Extended treatment of particulars. The essay contained too much detail. Provide details for. A general officer of the highest rank. The head of a religious order or congregation. Of worldwide scope or applicability. A fact about the whole, as opposed to particular. He discussed the general but neglected the particular. Affecting the entire body. A general anesthetic. Applying to all or most members of a category or group. The general public. Command as a general. We are generaled by an incompetent. Not specialized or limited to one class of things. General studies. Prevailing among and common to the general public. The general discontent. Somewhat indefinite. Bearing a general resemblance to the original. An individual instance of a type of symbol. A distinct part that can be specified separately in a group of things that could be enumerated on a list. He noticed an item in the New York Times. A small part that can be considered separately from the whole. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. A whole individual unit, especially when included in a list or collection. They reduced the price on many items. A disputed factual contention that is generally left for a jury to decide. A matter that is an actual fact or as demonstrable as a fact. The act of noticing or paying attention. The act of observing, taking a patient look. A remark expressing careful consideration. Facts learned by observing. He reported his observations to the mayor. The act of making and recording a measurement. Exacting especially about details. Very particular about how her food was prepared. A small part that can be considered separately from the whole. First and most important. She gets special, or particular, satisfaction from her volunteer work. Logic. A proposition that asserts something about some, but not all, members of a class. Surpassing what is common or usual or expected. A matter of particular and unusual importance. Unique or specific to a person or thing or category. The particular demands of the job. A fact about some part, as opposed to general. He always reasons from the particular to the general. Providing specific details or circumstances. A particular description of the room. Separate and distinct from others of the same group or category. Interested in one particular artist. Be oriented. The weather vane points north. Sail close to the wind. Repair the joints of bricks. Point a chimney. Any of 32 horizontal directions indicated on the card of a compass. He checked the point on his compass. Be a signal for or a symptom of. Her behavior points to a severe neurosis. A specific identifiable position in a continuum or series or especially in a process. A distinct part that can be specified separately in a group of things that could be enumerated on a list. The main point on the agenda was taken up first. An outstanding characteristic. His acting was one of the high points of the movie. A V shape. The cannibal's teeth were filed to sharp points. A contact in the distributor. As the rotor turns, its projecting arm contacts them and current flows to the spark plugs. The dot at the left of a decimal fraction. Direct into a position for use. Point a gun. Indicate a place, direction, person, or thing, either spatially or figuratively. He pointed to the empty parking space. The property of a shape that tapers to a sharp tip. The gun muzzle's direction. He held me up at the point of a gun. A V-shaped mark at one end of an arrow pointer. The point of the arrow was due north. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. A point of information. A wall socket. An instant of time. At that point I had to leave. A very small circular shape. A row of points. Direct the course. Determine the direction of traveling. Give a point to. Intend something, to move towards a certain goal. A punctuation mark, placed at the end of a declarative sentence to indicate a full stop or after abbreviations. A brief version of the essential meaning of something. Get to the point. A distinguishing or individuating characteristic. He knows my bad points as well as my good points. A geometric element that has position but no extension. A point is defined by its coordinates. A linear unit used to measure the size of type, approximately 1/72 inch. A promontory extending out into a large body of water. They sailed south around the point. A style in speech or writing that arrests attention and has a penetrating or convincing quality or effect. Be positionable in a specified manner. The gun points with ease. Indicate the presence of game by standing and pointing with the muzzle. The dog pointed the dead duck. Mark, a psalm text, to indicate the points at which the music changes. Mark, Hebrew words, with diacritics. Mark with diacritics. Point the letter. 1% of the total principal of a loan. It is paid at the time the loan is made and is independent of the interest on the loan. Sharp end. He stuck the point of the knife into a tree. The object of an activity. What is the point of discussing it? The precise location of something, a spatially limited location. She walked to a point where she could survey the whole street. The unit of counting in scoring a game or contest. He scored 20 points in the first half. Present reasons and arguments. A rational motive for a belief or action. The reason that war was declared. The state of having good sense and sound judgment. He had to rely less on reason than on rousing their emotions. Decide by reasoning. Draw or come to a conclusion. We reasoned that it was cheaper to rent than to buy a house. The capacity for rational thought or inference or discrimination. We are told that man is endowed with reason and capable of distinguishing good from evil. A justification for something existing or happening. They had good reason to rejoice. A fact that logically justifies some premise or conclusion. There is reason to believe he is lying. An explanation of the cause of some phenomenon. The reason a steady state was never reached was that the back pressure built up too slowly. Think logically. The children must learn to reason. A written form of a musical composition. Parts for different instruments appear on separate staves on large pages. He studied the score of the sonata. A resentment strong enough to justify retaliation. Settling a score. A slight surface cut, especially a notch that is made to keep a tally. Gain points in a game. The home team scored many times. Assign a grade or rank to, according to one's evaluation. Score the SAT essays. Grounds. He tried to blame the victim, but his success on that score was doubtful. Induce to have sex. Did you score last night? A number or letter indicating quality, especially of a student's performance. What was your score on your homework? Make small marks into the surface of. Score the clay before firing it. A seduction culminating in sexual intercourse. Calling his seduction of the girl a score was a typical example of male slang. Make underscoring marks. An amount due, as at a restaurant or bar. Add it to my score and I'll settle later. A number that expresses the accomplishment of a team or an individual in a game or contest. The score was 7-0. A set of 20 members. A score were sent out but only one returned. Get a certain number or letter indicating quality or performance. She scored high on the SAT. The act of scoring in a game or sport. The winning score came with less than a minute left to play. The facts about an actual situation. He didn't know the score. Write a musical score for. A fact about some part, as opposed to general. A medicine that has a mitigating effect on a specific disease. Quinine is a specific for malaria. Being or affecting a disease produced by a particular microorganism or condition. Used also of stains or dyes used in making microscope slides. Quinine is highly specific for malaria. Sometimes followed by to, applying to or characterized by or distinguishing something particular or special or unique. Rules with specific application. Stated explicitly or in detail. Needed a specific amount. Relating to or distinguishing or constituting a taxonomic species. Specific characters. A mathematical notation indicating the number of times a quantity is multiplied by itself. The finger next to the thumb. A number or ratio, a value on a scale of measurement, derived from a series of observed facts, can reveal relative changes as a function of time. Adjust through indexation. The government indexes wages and prices. An alphabetical listing of names and topics along with page numbers where they are discussed. A numerical scale used to compare variables with one another or with some reference number. List in an index. Provide with an index. Index the book. A number or ratio, a value on a scale of measurement, derived from a series of observed facts, can reveal relative changes as a function of time. A device for showing the operating condition of some system. A signal for attracting attention. Chemistry. A substance that changes color to indicate the presence of some ion or substance, can be used to indicate the completion of a chemical reaction or, in medicine, to test for a particular reaction. Something that serves to indicate or suggest. Symptoms are the prime indicants of disease. A number or ratio, a value on a scale of measurement, derived from a series of observed facts, can reveal relative changes as a function of time. Physical objects consisting of a number of pages bound together. He used a large book as a doorstop. A record in which commercial accounts are recorded. They got a subpoena to examine our books. The sacred writings of Islam revealed by God to the Prophet Muhammad during his life at Mecca and Medina. A compilation of the known facts regarding something or someone. His name is in all the record books. A written version of a play or other dramatic composition, used in preparing for a performance. The sacred writings of the Christian religions. A collection of rules or prescribed standards on the basis of which decisions are made. They run things by the book around here. Arrange for and reserve something for someone else in advance. The agent booked tickets to the show for the whole family. A collection of playing cards satisfying the rules of a card game. A major division of a long written composition. The Book of Isaiah. A number of sheets, ticket or stamps, etc., bound together on one edge. He bought a book of stamps. A written work or composition that has been published, printed on pages bound together. I am reading a good book on economics. Engage for a performance. Her agent had booked her for several concerts in Tokyo. Record a charge in a police register. The policeman booked her when she tried to solicit a man. Register in a hotel booker. Principles from which other truths can be derived. Let's get down to basics. A statement of fundamental facts or principles. Register electronically. They recorded her singing. Sound recording consisting of a disc with a continuous groove, used to reproduce music by rotating while a phonograph needle tracks in the groove. Indicate a certain reading, of gauges and instruments. A compilation of the known facts regarding something or someone. Al Smith used to say, "Let's look at the record." Be aware of. The sum of recognized accomplishments. The lawyer has a good record. A list of crimes for which an accused person has been previously convicted. He ruled that the criminal record of the defendant could not be disclosed to the court. Make a record of. Set down in permanent form. A document that can serve as legal evidence of a transaction. They could find no record of the purchase. An extreme attainment. The best, or worst, performance ever attested, as in a sport. He tied the Olympic record. Anything, such as a document or a phonograph record or a photograph, providing permanent evidence of or information about past events. The film provided a valuable record of stage techniques. The number of wins versus losses and ties a team has had. At 9-0, they have the best record in their league. The elementary stages of any subject, usually plural. He mastered only the rudiments of geometry. A statement of fundamental facts or principles. A compilation of the known facts regarding something or someone. His name is in all the record books. A number or ratio, a value on a scale of measurement, derived from a series of observed facts, can reveal relative changes as a function of time.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.